Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into the documents that companies don't always want you to read. Today we are diving deep into Figure Certificate Company's latest quarterly report, and let me tell you, the numbers are a bit of a roller coaster, so buckle up, Aladdin. Before we get started, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where you can discuss more in depth. So what's the deal with Figure Certificate Company? They sell these things called face amount certificates, which are a bit like a promise to pay you back a certain amount of money plus interest. They're regulated as an investment company, so we're going to look under the hood. The big question is, are they making money and are they doing it safely? Let's find out. First, let's peek at their balance sheet, which is basically a snapshot of what they own and what they owe. As of late March of 2025, they had about they had about $322 million in liabilities. A big chunk of those liabilities, around $2.5 million, is certificates payable to related parties, meaning they owe money to people connected to the company. This might raise an eyebrow as it shows significant reliance on the parent company. Now, let's talk about their income statement, which shows how well they've performed over the last 3 months. Their interest income was a measly $4,000, while total investment expenses ballooned to over $1.2 million. What does that mean? They lost $1.2 million term. They are doing great at all. That is a very bad sign. Professional service fees were $281,000. Organizational costs were $254,000. That's a lot for just 3 months. Moving on, let's look at the statement of stockholders' equity. It shows how the ownership of the company has changed. Basically, it showed that the parent company, FM Shy, gave them around $1.1 million more as capital contributions. But because they had a net loss of $1.2 million, their total equity actually went down. This is not good. They are relying on handouts from their parent company to stay afloat. Let's talk about cash flow, where things get a bit more interesting. While they lost money, their cash position actually increased by over 2.5 million dollars. How did that happen? They issued a lot of certificates, pulling in over $3 million, and then had some surrender. Basically, they borrowed their way to a higher cash balance. One thing to note is that a large part of their accounting involves fair value measurements, which means estimating what their assets and liabilities are actually worth. Their cash equivalents are easy to value, and their certificates issued are valued on what similar instruments are sold for, but this does bring up the question of, what if those prices change? Let's talk more about those certificates payable. The company has a total balance of around $2.7 million of these. This is offset a bit by a deposit of $3.1 million of qualified assets, so it kind of evens out in the books. And they have a valuation allowance, which basically means they don't think they'll be making enough money to use their tax deductions. This just confirms that the company is losing money. Since it's a loss of $1.2 million and they have 1,000 shares outstanding, that's a $160 loss per share. It is not great. There is also a section where they admit they might get in legal trouble and be subject to examinations. That's standard language, but always something to keep an eye on, especially in financial services. Now, looking at these results more broadly, Figure Certificate Company is in a tough spot. While they claim to have enough cash to operate for the next year, they are reliant on continuous funding from their parent company. Their losses are significant, and their core business model depends on borrowing more money. In my opinion, it is not in a good position. Alright, that's our breakdown of Figure Certificate Company's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.